Hi everybody, my name is Michael Wright. I'm the canine behaviourist. This is my second or third effort on Twitch. The idea is that I help you learn a little bit about dogs. I didn't think that happening. Hi everybody, I'm still trying to learn how to use this Twitch properly. My name is Mike Wright, I'm the canine behaviourist. I'm going to be popping up here every 7 p.m. on Wednesdays GMT. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about all things dogs, really, be it training, be it behavioural issues, basically trying to help you understand how to live a little bit more happily with your dogs. So as you can see from the label today, I've got labelling our dogs. And when I talk about labelling our dogs, I'm talking about when you see people walking their dogs and they've got bits of fluorescent lead or clothing on them that says my dog's reactive, my dog's nervous, my dog's frightened, my dog's terrified of pixies, or whatever it is. Now I think this is probably doing our dogs somewhat a disservice. It's a little bit, if I could compare it to modern medicine. I'm an ex-Royal Navy medic by trade of many years ago. And I worked in the medicine industry for many years when I left the Navy, before I started doing this. And I think it's fairly plain to see that a lot of medicine you see, we treat symptoms. So if someone gets a very bad headache or migraine, we give them something to get rid of the headache or the migraine. We don't necessarily, this is a broad brush because you can't apply everywhere, but we don't necessarily treat the symptom, treat the cause of the symptom. And we do similar with our dogs, unfortunately. So you'll see a dog labelled as reactive. That means it's reacting in some way to other dogs, usually in some sort of aggressive manner. Therefore, what a lot of people tend to do these days, we put a nice big sign on them that says this is a reactive dog, it's frightened, or whatever it is. Don't come near, don't touch the dog, don't interact with us, just let us continue on our way. Well, that's kind of okay, I guess, to a point, but we're not doing what's best for our dogs. The dogs need help from human beings. They need us to understand why they're behaving in such a manner. So be it a frightened dog, be it an aggressive dog, be it a dog that's nervous around cars or whatever, all of these dogs generally can be helped. And I don't actually think we help them terribly much by putting labels on them and avoiding the things that cause them problems. We'd be much better served trying to understand why they're reacting in a certain way and looking at ways of actually helping them. So I'll give you an example. I'll give you a couple of examples. The first one is an aggressive, savage dog that's looking to rip into you and cause you some damage. I met a lady with a dog. It's a Romanian rescue dog, and the dog had bitten her 2 or 3 times, and it had tried to bite other people. It had tried to bite other dogs, and she'd only had it about 3 weeks, and she got it from Romania. So there we are. We've got this dog. It's potentially dangerous. All dogs are, of course. A Chihuahua can give you a serious bite. Don't be fooled by that. A tiny dog can be quite as dangerous as a larger dog. Um, so I chatted to this lady. She's a very nice lady, fairly young lady, and Ziggy, my dog, I had her out of the way at the time, and I basically said to her, well, you know, because I pretty much knew what was wrong with this dog just by the way it approached. I said, let off the lead and let's just see what happens. Um, and she thought, well, she said she'll bite you. I said, well, that's my fault if she bites me. So the dog rushes at me, snarling at me, growling at me, snapping around my ankles, really showing me that I'm going to do you some damage. You just move and I'm going to give you some damage. So I ignored the dog. I didn't try to interact with the dog. I continued to chat to the lady, and the dog quietened down quite quickly. I wasn't quite sure what to make of me. I wasn't reacting like other people had reacted. I wasn't paying any notice. I wasn't trying to run away. I wasn't looking scared. I wasn't doing anything really. So I got down on my haunches. I wouldn't recommend doing this. I've been doing this quite a while, and I know what I'm doing, so I wouldn't recommend doing this. But I'm just using this as an example. So I got down on my haunches. I always carry some treats, usually gravy bones or something like that, something nice for a dog to nibble on. And I put a little gravy bone in my hand. And I continued talking to this lady, not looking at this dog at all. And it was about 2 yards away from me and looking at me and still barking a little bit, growling a little bit. And I just held my arm out a little bit with the treat in it, and I just looked the other way. And at the corner of my eye, I'm still keeping an eye on this dog. And the dog is a bit baffled by its behaviour, but it really would like that treat. Really interested in that treat. So it lunges forward, it rips it out of my hand, doesn't hurt me, doesn't do anything, takes it, rushes back out of the way, eats the treat. So I repeat this 2 or 3 times. And the dog, you can see, is visibly relaxing. It's now got to the point where it's understanding that I'm not a problem. I'm not dangerous. I'm not going to hurt this dog. The basic problem with this dog, it's been on the streets of Romania for God knows how long. It's fought for every scrap of food it's managed to get. It's probably been abused, kicked, hit, shouted at. So everything it sees is a potential threat, and it's going to react accordingly. Now, dogs have a flight or fight. If it can't run away, its natural response is to show aggression and fight. But by not getting into that with the dog reappraises what's happening in front of it, and it sees that actually this human isn't going to hurt me. And okay, I'm beginning to feel a bit comfortable. So the dog, after this is a very short period of time. The dog, after about 2 or 3 minutes, if that, probably less than that. Well, I'm still talking to this lady. Comes up, gets closer and closer to me, and it actually puts its paws. It's not a big dog, but 2/3 of the size collie, that type of dog. This dog puts both its paws on my knees and comes up to take another treat off me. Now this time, this dog is really close to me now, and she's taking this food out of my hand. So now I'm going to interact with her a little bit. I'm not going to go full on stroking her, but I just started to just tickle underneath her chin a little bit, just gently, while I'm talking very quietly and calmly. And I tell her what a good dog she is, and and we left it at that. And then I had a consultation with this lady. I visited the dog at home, and we had a bit of a reproduction of the thing. I actually sat in the dog's chair, and the dog sat in the chair with me. And she'd never seen this before. She just couldn't amaze it. This is a dog that had been told by another so-called behaviourist expert, who drove up, sat in his car, looked across the fence. The dog's barking in the yard, and he said, "No, I can't do anything with that. And about turn, you won't be able to do anything with that dog." And off we went. So this dog just needed a little bit of understanding, and again understanding the cause of the symptoms he was displaying. A lot of these dogs are traumatized in some way, and once we get to understand what their trauma is and why they've been traumatized, we are able to deal with it and do something about it. So once I've helped this dog, and this dog now has become much calmer, much calmer. I then walk the dog with my dog Ziggy, and she'd never done that before. And with a few corrections, every now and again she'd lunge towards Ziggy, and I'd just basically put her right, tell her no, that's not what we're looking for. They're on the lead at the time. I had the dog muzzled so she didn't cause someone else some damage or be damaged to herself. So the muzzle was for her protection, really, not because she was a savage dog, but for her protection. So I met this lady a few times on my normal walks, and we walked, and within a very short period of time we were able to let this dog off the lead, walk with other dogs, and the last I saw of this dog, she was actually playing in the water with 5 or 6 other dogs off lead, quite happy. Thank you very much. And that was basically, I haven't done anything clever or too spectacular. I had just taken time to understand why the dog was behaving like it was behaving, and then applied a few little techniques to help the owner and the dog to get over these problems. So a happier dog, instead of just giving them a label, or it's reactive, it's aggressive, let's see if we can do something about it. So there's one example. Now, a lot of the dogs I see with various reactive type problems, and I even hate the word, it's so derivative and everybody uses it. I like to look at dogs as individuals and try and understand their individual issues. While I was retraining as a behaviourist, I wouldn't really call it a study. There's a bit too grand for that. But I did a little thing where I basically went out to the coast in Norfolk and I accosted dog owners with nervous dogs. A few of them told me where to go in no uncertain terms. Fair enough. But about 13 or 14 of them stopped and listened and let me try a few things with their dogs. Now, a lot of these dogs were small dogs, very common. You'll see a reactive small dog. It yaps at everything, it barks, it lunges, or it looks petrified and it goes hides behind the owner's legs, and then the owner picks it up and says there. And all of those things, of course, just make it worse. What you need to be doing is helping the dog, not reaffirming and strengthening its fear. So I got all these, I had Ziggy with me, I got all of these people to let the dog off the lead. They said, well, run away. I said, well, just let's try it, shall we? And we're out at Wells in North Norfolk. There's a long spit you can walk out, lovely, through the dunes, and we're there. So these dogs aren't going to go anywhere, not really. So I got about 10 people to let their dogs off the lead. And every single one of them, 100% of them, did pretty much exactly the same thing. These small dogs that were petrified of their own shadows, they all got on the floor, dashed behind the owner's legs, and then peeked out, quivering, not happy, And we did one thing, and that's nothing. I do nothing a lot. You'd be amazed at what nothing does for dogs. So I carried on chatting. Ziggy's doing her thing, sniffing and eating a bit of grass, that sort of stuff. And without fail, every one of these dogs came out from behind the owner's legs, slowly approached Ziggy, and within a short period of time, this takes a few minutes, no more than that, these dogs are standing next to Ziggy, sniffing the same area, cocking their legs in the same area, visibly relaxing. Basically because we've understood or tried to understand why they're behaving like they were, and we tried to help them by just doing some simple things. Just allowing them to be a dog really, and just stepping back and not interfering, keeping an eye on things, obviously, keeping an eye on things, but allow them to be dogs and allow them to interact with other dogs. And you'd be amazed at how successful that actually is. I mean, it's really successful. I've done it with hundreds of dogs, and it doesn't always work. I mean, you always get an exception to the rule, but I would think 99% of the time it does. But then you have to progress on from there, and you have to keep exposing them to things gently, some of the things that worry them, and do it in a gentle manner, and you'd be amazed at how successful you can be of overcoming a dog's problems. But I'll just go back to my earlier comments. By simply reacting to their reactions, be it aggression or be it fear, and accommodating them. So the aggressive dog, we put it on the lead, we go in the opposite direction, we make sure we go near no other dogs, and we don't let any dogs near it, we don't let people near it. It will never ever get over its problem. It'll keep displaying that symptom all the time. Okay, but if we just take the time to understand the symptom, the cause of it, we can generally help our dogs. So don't listen to people that naysay that type of thing. Say, oh no, I can't help this dog. It's been like this for years. It's always been like this. That's basically tosh. It's rubbish. So I think that's really it for now. I want to keep these sessions fairly short. Well, certainly until anybody tunes in if they find this interesting in any way, shape or form. And I'm happy to talk about anything related to dogs really, and I'm happy to give advice if you think it's of help to you and of help to other people, of course. So tune in here every Wednesday 7 p.m. GMT, and I'll try to help you in your dogs. You can get me on Twitter at cbehaviorist. You can get me on the underscore behaviorist on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook, and you can also ask me questions directly on my website, which is on the screen here, www.thecaninebehaviorist.co.uk. Okay, I think that's it for now. I hope that's been of some use to you. But as I say, finally, just bear in mind that yes, these reactive dogs can be helped. We have to go beyond this business of labeling them and actually think a little bit about what's going on, and we can get to the bottom of it. Okay, I think that's all I've got for you now. Thank you very much, and I'm just going to now find out if I can actually turn this stream back off, because my controls have disappeared. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so bye for now. Thank you for viewing this. If you view it later on Instagram, great. If you've got any comments, happy to hear them. Keep them clean and keep them polite, and I'll try and respond. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye bye.